comes to women, there's no doubt we've come a long way, ladies. So our next session's called Empowering Women in Executive Leadership, Shaping the Future of Corporate Governance. And we're going to explore how women leaders are reshaping boardrooms, driving change, and mentoring the next generation. Now, I want to say from my personal journey, I mentioned my name is Rachel Muleman. It's a long one, but if you are looking for me, I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. And I say that because one of my missions on the planet, since we're talking about missions, is I have a team of women called the Biz Angels, where I elevate them to dominate in male-dominated industries because we need to have our place. So I am passionate about making it happen, showing women the way to do it, especially in the business world. And I can't wait to have this panel come up and join me on this mission. So let's hear it. We got Fatima Ibrahim. She's coming up. She's the executive coach at With Fatima Ibrahim, and she is going to be the moderator for the next session. Let's invite Dr. Reina Leons, owner and CEO and author, Reb X3 Consulting. Anu Pramod, Managing Director, People Pro Training Institute. Neha Shavri, the ICF Accredited Leadership and Agile Coach from Agile Dreams. And Garima Gold, the VP of Program Delivery, Nurima Consulting, Inc., for a phenomenal feminine conversation to see what we're doing on executive leadership. And it's so nice to see you ladies up here. Take a seat, my beautiful goddesses. Here we go, women. I love this part of the day because it's about gender equality, which won the top. Please test your mic. Make sure we're all vertical, ready to go.
Hello. Hello.
Fatima, take it away. This is your panel. Can't wait to hear you guys. Enjoy.
All right. Good evening, everyone. How has it been so far? I know it was a long day for me too. So, first of all, I want to thank each and every lady who's sitting here with me because she made it up to here. Each and every one, when I got to know them, there was a story. And there was a story of growth. There was a story of struggle. There was a story of defining who she is today, right? For me, I want to say that I was fired 3 times as a C-level, and I'm proud of it. Because it made me who I am, navigating through all this politics and the male-dominant industries that they had. It made me who I am when I did not know how to deal with a toxic environment. It made me who I am today when I was navigating through all these egos. So yes, I did get fired 3 times, and I'm proud of it. So, having said that, please, I want all these beautiful, powerful, dominant ladies to introduce themselves and tell me, how did you add value?
Well, hello, everybody. Hello again. I know we are tired and probably hungry. If you're like me, my time zone, I'm all messed up. But again, my name is Dr. Reina Lyons, and I am the owner of RABX3 Consulting. My degree is in business psychology, but I specialize in emotional intelligence. Really quick, how emotional intelligence, to answer your question, brought value into me. As a mother of 2 girls in a male-dominated world, twice divorced, I had to regroup and find out who I was. And once I figured out who I was, I found that I was not only able to be a better mother, but a better leader to others. So I look forward to having this discussion panel with you guys. I'm going to pass the mic.
Thank you. Is it on? Can you hear me? Yes? No? Thank you. So I'm Neha Chavre. I am an ICF leadership coach as well as an agile coach. And I specialize in leadership and organizational development topics where I work with leaders and their teams on their personal and professional goals. Now, you asked Fatima, how do I add value? I would say I'm an enabler, and I have different hats, so sometimes I will be a mirror showing what is wrong with you right now, or I will be taking a step back and giving you the space, the teams and the leaders, the space to work on themselves. So depending upon the situation, the topic, I would act in certain ways. So that's me, and I will pass on to Anu.
Thank you. My name is Anu Pramod. I run People Pro Training Institute, which is a leadership institute. I'm a John Maxwell certified trainer. My passion is to work with students to teach leadership, life skills, social emotional learning to students. And that's what People Pro has been doing for the past 24 years. I also have a side mission of employing women, mostly in our organization, to give them a step up into their careers, especially if you've taken a sabbatical or a break. How do I add value? Well, in People Pro, we have this great mission of helping people realize, understand their purpose and realize their potential. So I add value by casting vision and hoping that the team catches that vision, because unless they catch the vision, they will not run along with me alongside. So that's what I do. Thank you, and over to you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So I'm Garima Goyal. I am a woman leader, IT expert, a management consultant by profession. My company, Norima Consulting, headquartered in Canada, and we work together to provide business and technology solutions to our clients. Following the cadence on how I bring value, I make sure to support women around me. Because if I don't, then they may lag in coming up and completing their journey. So I make sure to support women who are working with me, who are working in my teams, who I see probably on a road. So that's how I try to bring value to the society. Thank you. Over to you, Fatima.
Well. So if I have learned anything with working with women, who are sometimes, most of the times, they don't support each other. But the more we grow, the more I saw that women supporting women shine more. And we don't know each other. We just got to know each other like a few days ago. But the amount of support they've shown, we showed each other and they have shown me in just these few days was I don't know what to say. I mean, I have no words.
The beginning
Thank you.
of year-long friendship.
Right. And the next conference. Yes. So, Dr. Reena, how did the emotional intelligence impacted your leadership style and your decision-making process?
So, as many individuals in the room, my background is also in human resources and employee relations. So I look at risk and I look at liability. For the longest, when I would speak with employees, I'd say, if I had a magic wand, I make you do the right thing. And then one day I had to realize and wake up and say, we're all different for a reason. And so I had to become self-aware that as humans, as individuals, everybody has different personalities, everybody has different characteristics, and I had to learn to adapt to that person, because I can't change you. You can change you, but I can't change you and mold you, or either I'd be bored and out of a job at that time. So I feel like when I really got in tune with my emotional intelligence, and for those in the room who really don't know what emotional intelligence is, I always tell people, your IQ is less than your, I'm going to say it like we say it in the U.S., and then I'll say it like I've learned it from these ladies. Your EQ trumps your IQ. Here I would say your EI trumps your IQ. But what that means is you could be the smartest person in the world, but if you don't have high emotional intelligence, you're not going to move up that corporate ladder, and you're not going to build on those personal and relationship skills that you do. So when I learned that, it made me a better leader, because I became more self-aware and I managed who I was, which helped with those other two social pillars of social management and relationship management with others. So thank you. I love EQ questions.
Thank you. Would the ladies want to comment on that? No? Okay. Neha, given your experience with coaching leadership or leadership members, what are some specific challenges women face in ascending to executive roles?
Well, there are many barriers and challenges that women face. I will tell 3 today. So the most common one is the unconscious bias, as well as the cultural bias that is there in the organizations. And it's also personally attached to my story, my journey. So 10, 12 years ago, when I was back in India, still in an IT industry, working as a software engineer, I was a high achiever, but I was never been offered an on-site role. And a couple of years, I never asked. And then one day I asked my boss, so why I am not in the list? And he said, but I thought you will not go because you are a married woman, you are a mom, your kid is just 2 years old, so we just assumed that you are not interested. But I said, no, you should ask me, please do not assume. So this is how the unconscious bias work, because I am from India and I am a mom, that I will not go outside of the country, because this wasn't being alone, going there alone. This was one. Another significant challenge is the lack of visible role models in executive roles. And this limits a lot of women who are aspirational or who want to be in an executive role in the future, but they don't know whom to ask to, whom to follow. So this is another thing. And the last one I want to share is a lot of organizations have this culture that may overshadow, they don't feel the collaborative leadership styles are good enough. They may feel that the assertive approaches are more better than the collaborative leadership style, which many of the women bring to the table. So yeah, this is what I would share today.
Does anyone want to share?
I want to jump in real quick.
Sure.
When you talked about the unconscious biasness and being a mom and the expectations, it's not just in India. By the way, I love we are a diverse group up here, but it's amazing how diverse different countries we're in, and I've been saying this all weekend, we all suffer the same thing. So even in the United States, as a woman, I will be overlooked because I'm a mother of 2, and God forbid, I was a single mother of 2. They would just judge, and I'd say, no, I can keep right up there. So I just want to, I did want to share that. It's not just one-off to one country. That is a universal problem that women face.
True. Yep.
I think that's something that we found out when we were discussing with each other, and that's something that was an eye-opener for many of us. I don't know how many of you relate to what we are saying here. We see that there are a lot of men here, but I don't know if you really understand what we are going through. Yeah, it's similar across the world.
Yeah. So, Anu, question to you here. So, how do you encourage women to take up leadership positions, and how do you equip them?
Yes, so because of the background that I come from, where I really had to struggle to where I am right now, and I still struggle, because as we have mentioned in the beginning, it is a male-dominated world, and women are supposed to look after the home as well as manage her career. And when you say look after the home, it's everything in the home. And that's not easy for women. And so I love to bring in more women into organizations and equip them into becoming leaders. And if you look at the statistics of Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies, the number of women in CEO positions are less than 10%. It's less than 10%. What are we talking of here? We're talking of equality and inclusion, and there's a lot of these buzzwords that go around in all the corporate circles and schools everywhere. But you look at the statistics, we are nowhere there. We're not there. We're all living examples of all that, and we in our own little ways are trying to bring in more and more women who have the same ambitions as men do. We are educated as men are. We have the same ambitions, but somewhere along the way we are expected to even look after the families, and so we are paid less. We've got lesser positions in organizations, and so it has always been my endeavor to first of all, create a culture within my organization which is more inclusive, where women are given flexible, men and women. I don't even want to talk just about women. Even men, if you need flexible hours, you look at flexible hours, remote working, and equip them through mentorship. Have people mentor them. Maybe they're not up there. They need to be equipped. They need to get the skills and the training that is required. So give them the resources that they need to flourish and watch them flourish. They'll do the same work as any man can. It's just that, they've been set aside for so long in so many cultures. But we are here now trying our best to bring in more and more women, equip them, and give them some kind of an equity in this world. And so that's what I try to do.
Thank you, Anu. I think I have, or not me, everyone here, all the ladies here, I think felt somewhere, somehow what you felt and what you've mentioned in terms of struggle that we go through. Your thoughts, ladies?
So I value mentorship a lot, and I also follow by giving it, but as well as getting mentorship from others. And here I would like to encourage the organizations actually to create mentorship programs for their people. And it's very easy steps. You don't have to know rocket science for doing that, but starting at the high level, because we have a lot of executives here, also HR professionals, I would really encourage them, start at the org level, and also try to have diverse intentional pairing, so that people from different cultures, different roles can get together, and the mentors can guide the mentees in order to go to their respective journeys. And also having regular check-ins, creating a small cycle, so not doing extravaganza or anything, but just having 3-month cycle, try to do this mentorship program, and then see how it is going for your people. So try to measure that. And this is a small step we can take for our people in the organization to feel supported in mentorship. So this is what I would share.
Amazing. Well, it's getting interesting. So, Garima.
I would just like to add to what Neha mentioned. When I started my journey 15, 18 years back, my first mentor was a male leader. So we see women coming up now as leaders and being mentors. But when I started off, men were leaders. And I think most of us have been blessed to have good male leaders. So no offense to any one of the men sitting here. It's a woman-packed session. Just we are talking about our struggles, sharing our journeys. Of course, as women, we need each other's support, but it's an ecosystem. We need men's support equally, back in the homes, also at our corporate world to be successful. I think that's what I would like to add.
And I have one more point, because I was thinking about mentorship, but sponsorship will give you advocacy, and it will help you to get there, to get ahead of where you would like to be. So that's the hardest part.
Find a sponsor.
Yeah,
Yes?
find a sponsor.
Garima, how does it increased representation of women in real leadership roles influence corporate governance and decision making?
Okay, so I will start with a case study that I read a few months back. This is for Sodexo. Sodexo has almost equal gender presence in its executive board, in its leadership. Classic example of how having a balanced presence of both male and women leaders in the panel can help drive growth, success, and better ethical governance policies. I personally feel we as women coming through, especially three of us in the panel are from India. Our history, our culture is totally different. We have faced hardships. Our struggles are different. But to add what Dr. Reena said, that struggles are same for women all over the world. I think we come with a lot of empathy factor. So it's easy for us probably to connect with employees, with our stakeholders, drive trust and loyalty, which is critical and also helps drive better corporate governance and corporate policies. That presence of women leaders in the organization can bring. which can, help in better retention of clients, also employee engagement. So I think that overall is a mix of how we can drive it further, Fatima.
Amazing. So, Dr. Rina, back to you again. So, you are an emotional intelligence pioneer.
I like to say queen of EQ.
Okay. Can you give us some examples, like hands-on examples, on how did it help you to navigate the complex challenges in corporate governance?
It taught me to be proactive and not reactive. And what I mean by that is also what my father would say, I play chess, not checkers. But looking ahead and looking forward and trying to advance and see what obstacles may be in the way versus not thinking ahead, getting to those obstacles and just like blowing up inside or having an emotional breakdown or self-doubt. That's something I've heard all day. I think you spoke about that earlier too, values and having that self-doubt and really digging in there. But having that emotional intelligence piece and being proactive just really opened me up to a whole lot of things because, again, as I stated, I can control me. And once I could control me, I was able to control any obstacle that was thrown over. Like earlier, they were talking about policies and procedure changes. Like it used to be when I worked for corporate, policy changes would freak me out. Like, oh my God. During COVID, and we spoke about this, I think the policies in the HR world and it changed like every 15 minutes to me. Forget it. Anybody who's in here from California, you guys were the worst. But changes like that, like going into stressful moments. I'm going to get personal here. I actually had an employee who threw out that she wanted to commit suicide. And yes, we hear, I hate to say that, we hear that a lot in the HR world. We have provisions in place for that, and we, quickly go to EAP. But at this time, I had to remember I wasn't just an HR person. I'm a psychologist, like my background, everything that I had studied in school was there with me. And this individual was actually having a moment where she stood on the roof of the hotel, and something in me said, well, I was being dismissive. I was being dismissive because I had other things to do. So my emotions, I was just like, whatever. Something told me go on FaceTime. And this lady was actually on the roof of the building on FaceTime. And I remember saying, oh God, I'm gonna need a therapist if she goes down. But immediately being empathetic and understanding and not being reactive in that moment literally saved her life, because I was calm, so she was calm, so we were able to go back down. She said something about babies. I thought they were children in the hotel room with her. They were actually her dogs. But I was like, hey, the Maltipoos saved her. But we actually went down, and while doing that, because I was calm, I was able to keep my team calm through this situation, because I had one person on the phone with EAP to get someone there. I had someone pacing in front of my door. It was just all hands on deck, being that servant leader. I tell people emotional intelligence is more than just taking an assessment.